Hi guys, this is Matthew from Apple Certified Mac Specialist channel, and today we're going to talk about system preferences. Inside of the system preferences, which can be found in the top left hand corner for Apple menu. So if you go to top left hand corner, click on your Apple menu and click on system preferences. Now system preferences is basically the heart of the machine, where you are going to personalize what you want and how you want your Mac to respond to you in the applications that you utilize, and also the system that responds to you in that way. What we're looking at, first of all, for example, is general. General is something that it's a visual thing. It's nothing that you would have to, it's not a have to. You can choose whichever you prefer or desire. For example, dark, you can see the dark option, and auto would be, it'll see if it's there or not, and then you can pick it up from there. What I would suggest is, again, play around with a couple of these items inside of system preferences, and then you could see what it is we're talking about. In the sense of desktop and screensaver, what we're looking at here is each individual desktop. Now we talk about mission control, and mission control has where you can add different desktops to your desktop. Have 17 open, for example, so each application can be placed on each desktop and it can be clean and fresh. And as you can see, I can change my desktops as I go around. It's no major stress. But again, it's something, it's a personal choice. If you go away from here and we talk about docking and the menu, that's basically your docking station at the bottom, and which I feel we'll also talk about in more detail. But this one is purely just an introduction to your system preferences. If you're looking at mission control, which I spoke of earlier, I leave everything as a default. I don't change anything here. Go to my hot corners and mission control, top left hand corner. Now, I'm personally left handed, but again, personal choice. If you're right handed or if you want to place it on the right, that's up to you. But again, it's a fantastic tool to use. And again, we'll talk about that in more detail in a lengthier setup and test. What we're looking at, Siri. Well, again, Siri, I think, is there for standard whether you want to use it or not. Spotlight is your search engine, and your search engine, if you click on it, you can actually say where you would like to search or not search. I personally have everything open so that if I'm looking for something to search, it's going to find it some way. And definitely, I have chosen everywhere. Language and region, I don't change because that you should have already set up when you set up your machine. Notifications. Now, notifications can become a bit of a deterrent because it'll either notify you on specific applications. For example, you can have none or banners or alerts. And depending on how many applications you have, you're going to have them pop up each and every time an application is either active or inactive, and depending on how you've set it up. So this is something to go through in length. But again, there are basic three choices. I've just left everything on because I like to see my system working. When I'm looking at internet accounts, depending on what accounts you have, for example, Google or iCloud or your personal country, for example, .co.za, then you can add all your accounts into there, and then we can work through it from that. Your next one is user and groups. I personally only believe in one, and that's admin. You're not going to be having multiple users because everybody should be able to access and utilize all applications and everything that you're working through. So I have admin because one problem, one solution. If you have multiple users and they access here and they access there, you can also restrict on what they're using and what applications. It can become a running nightmare. So just let everybody use everything and access it that way. When I'm going into my system preferences again, accessibility, we'll talk about in more depth. Screen time is purely just your screen time, where now it accesses and sees how much time you've been on and how much time you've been off. Your extensions, if you have any, and then security and privacy. Now again, something I'd like to go through because there are multiple items inside of here that we can utilize. But again, I feel this is in a different session. Now, the others, for example, software update, I would like to cover in the next session that we use. But please, hopefully this is helpful. And don't forget to click and subscribe to this account so that you can watch more helpful and handy tips as we go through system preferences.